What's up, everyone? Sebastian Castillo here. Wanted to put out a quick video to discuss something that has been happening to me over the last 2 weeks or so. And maybe some of you can relate if you've ever tried to do something and even despite your best efforts, it just wasn't working out. But the worst part of that is that you're made to feel like you're dumb, or like you're not good enough, or like you need more training, more this, more that, more coaching. And people are kind of trying to get in the way and to convince you that you're not good enough. And I'm here to tell you that there's a fine line between recognizing a skill gap and closing it and going out to learn and being humble and open-minded to getting some kind of help. Understandable. But there's also another part to this that you have to keep in mind. No one wants to see you doing better than them. No one except you really cares about how well you do. You can pay a coach. You can be, for example, in my situation, I was on an offer, a high-ticket sales offer, right? And you've got a sales manager on there whose responsibility is to make sure that everyone's putting up numbers and then train you to some extent, right? From day one with this guy, it was just backhanded comments. Like the very first thing that we were supposed to do was touch base, and then that day he didn't get back to me about it. Then the next day he did for a little bit, and it was a Saturday. He says, yeah, we'll touch base first thing Monday after a brief discussion. And he never specified anything. So I wake up on Monday to notifications, and he's wondering, where are you? What's happening? And I'm thinking to myself, what? You never told me you have a set time for a meeting or anything like that. And he says, oh, well, I told you we're going to meet first thing in the morning. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, did you factor in that I'm in a different time zone? Like, just all these things. And then now, fast forward, I've taken calls with this offer. Hasn't quite worked out the way I was expecting it to. I closed a deal. I got a few deposits here. But, I let them know, like, I don't think that this is a good personality match. And then, again, another backhanded comment. Oh, well, I thought you were hungry to learn, that you weren't just going to try to jump on to another offer. I'm just thinking to myself, like, the main point I'm trying to make here is no one knows you like you know you. No one knows what you're capable of. And there's a saying, and there's variations of it. People trip over a dollar to pick up a penny, right? For example, in this situation here, what I was focusing on was, okay, I want to get on this offer so I can make $10,000, $20,000 a month or even more. That would be awesome. And then I'm just thinking to myself, but wait a minute, why am I so focused on this, right? I'm obviously not doing as well as I should be on this, despite all of my training, thousands of dollars that I've invested in one-on-one coaching, being one of the best students to my former mentor, still not really kind of getting what I was expecting out of it. At some point you have to just step back and think to yourself, again, you can always make the argument that there's room for improvement. No one's denying that. But at some point you have to think, okay, I have put so much into myself. I know I'm an intelligent person. I know I have skill. It's just not working out here. And then to kind of add insult to injury, you see someone else get on the offer and they start closing deals left and right. They're getting paid in fulls. It makes you think to yourself, okay, obviously this guy not only has more skills, but he's more of a match for it, right? I know I'm kind of going all over the place here, right? I'm in this Airbnb here in Bogota. But don't let other people shame you or gaslight you or convince you that like you're not good enough, right? Because in this little sphere, going back to this saying I just mentioned about tripping over a dollar to pick up a penny. In this sphere, maybe you're not doing that great. Maybe the people around you are kind of looking at you like, you're not good enough to do this. Like, you should just go play in the little leagues. You're not good enough for this. When in reality, there's something way better waiting out there for you that you're capable of doing right now and doing way better and making way more money and being way more skilled at. But they're not going to teach you that because they're in here. This is their world. And they're judging you based on the criteria and based on the prerequisites and what they know to be part of this little sphere. They don't know about that other bigger thing that's waiting for you. And if you let people of small minds and with a small, narrow view convince you that you're not good enough, then not only are you never going to succeed in that little area, but you're going to feel like something even bigger is not waiting for you out there. But it is, right? For example, all of us have had, many, not all, many of us have had shitty jobs where we started in fast food or retail or something like that. Can you imagine, like, it's the same thing, right? It's just kind of at different levels. Those people, it's not surprising to see that some people stay working in those positions for 5, 10, 15, 20 years because that's their little world. And they might become the assistant manager or something and think they have some status within that little sphere. But for you to think that you're even better and more capable than them is not something that they want to hear. And they scoff and they look at you and think, you're never going to be better than us. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not skilled enough. You don't have the initiative to go out and learn more or whatever, right? So they're going to keep you down, whether it's directly or indirectly. You cannot let that get you down. You cannot, because you are meant for something better. You are right now who you are with your skills, with your knowledge. You are capable of doing something way, way better, not just in terms of how lucrative or profitable it is, but way more in line with your personality, doing something that you actually enjoy way more, something that you can feel way more proud of doing. I don't give a flying fuck about selling a real estate wholesaling coaching offer. I couldn't care less. I liked selling fitness before. That was more in tune with who I am. I liked that people were getting onto that and investing in themselves so that they could lose weight and feel healthier and feel better. And I talked to a lot of the people who I closed deals with afterwards, and they felt great. They were so happy that they had that conversation with me. So that was more in alignment with who I am. That had to end at some point because I think I mentioned it in another video. Main point here, guys, I've even mentioned this kind of message in many of my other videos in some way, shape, or form. You can't let people in your immediate sphere and where you are right now keep you down, whether directly or indirectly, making you think that you're actually not as good as you think you are, making you think that you're never actually going to ascend and be better than them in whatever. Because they don't like to think about that. They don't like to see the underdog. They don't like to think about that at all. They like to think about themselves as better than you, especially men. Maybe, women, they're a little bit different. But men, no. Especially even just the way you look, even just the way that you communicate. You walk in there, they look at you up and down, and they're like, fuck this guy. He's not good enough. He's not going to do well. Right? They don't care about you. So you shouldn't care about what they think. You shouldn't care about them at all. You should do you. And you should continue to tell yourself, even if it sounds delusional, it's delusional to them, even a bit delusional to you, that you're way fucking better than that. You can do way better than that. And you are going to do way better than that. And it's going to come. And when it does, you'll be sitting back and you'll be thinking to yourself, gee, could you imagine if I'd actually let these people convince me that I was beneath them? Can you imagine that I'd still be right there feeling unworthy? So keep that in mind, guys. Don't let it get you down.